I'm about to give you a crash course in American politics and where we come from and where we going from my husband because he can answer just about any question you ask. And I love him for that. That's one of the best qualities that he has. And he's just answered a bunch of questions and we've missed it. But let's take a rundown, a crash course in American politics and history. I mean, things that you don't know. I know nobody can know it all. He can. I hate that, but I love it too at the same time. So we're gonna see like I wanted to know, first of all, what come first? Ford, I was born in 1960. Ford or Carter? And then Bush and all the other crooked I mean, it seemed to go downhill when but then here's the answer. Who come first, Marshall?
Well,
Carter or Ford?
John F. Kennedy was assassinated, right? His vice president was Lyndon Johnson,
right?
Who wanted to be the president. He was also part of the deep state.
Yeah.
So, Lyndon Johnson became president. Then, when they were going for the next election, okay, Robert F. Kennedy was running to take his brother's place, and so they had him assassinated. And Lyndon Johnson was then Nixon was the one that he ended up running against, and Nixon won. Well, Nixon said,
do you recall what year that was?
Something like 60. I'm not sure if Johnson won an election or not. I think Lyndon Johnson, I think, did, after Kennedy was assassinated, I think Johnson did win. That would have been 64 when they had the next election. And yeah, Lyndon Johnson won that one. And then in 68.
Keep in mind, this boy was too young to vote at this time. He was born in 61. Continue.
So I believe in 68, then we had the next election, then Nixon won. Nixon Agnew. Okay.
And we tell us what happened after that.
Right. So after Nixon was elected, he told some people that he knew that
he's going to brief Watergate for us.
Who killed Kennedy, which was the deep state CIA.
Is this what Watergate was all about?
Yeah. Well, what it was
he's going to sum up Watergate for us because nobody knows what it is. You know you don't know, so he's going to tell you.
Well, so then Nixon, what it was, the Watergate was actually a CIA operative situation. Actually, first of all, it was Nixon Agnew. So if Nixon, for some reason, had to resign or
could not fulfill his duties,
right, then Agnew would become the president.
Spiro Agnew.
They were elected. Okay, so first they did is they found some stuff to try to show to Agnew that said that he had been defrauding on taxes. So they made Agnew resign.
Let the cabal begin.
And they put in Gerald Ford as the vice president.
The silent president.
The doofus. But he wasn't really a doofus. Matter of fact, he was one of the main people on the Warren Commission, which is the commission that was supposed to have done a deep dive into Kennedy's assassination. And they're the ones who said, "Oh no, it's just a lone gunman."
They've all promised that, though. Yeah, they're the first cover-ups, right?
Right. So that was the Warren Commission. Was all these people that were all the Warren Commission was deep state people.
Yeah.
Right. So then they put Ford as the vice president. Right. Now they got Agnew out of there, and Ford is one of the inside people. Then,
did he know it though?
Did
he know it though? Did Ford know it?
Ford knew it. And so then they put
wasn't his wife the one that was an alcoholic and had the rehab thing? Maybe that's why.
Yep.
Maybe that's why. Okay.
Betty, yeah.
Too much pressure.
So
sorry to interrupt. I just want to reiterate.
So then so Ford vice president. So then going for the next election, and Watergate was a hotel where the different
Politicians
politicians were staying in order.
scrutinizing and scooting with each other, if you know what I mean.
So what the CIA did,
The Bohemian Grove of politics.
the CIA did was they had like they say the people that broke the Watergate thing was those two news people, right? I can't remember their names now.
Was it CBS, NBC, or what? ABC.
It was I think the New York Times actually, but it was
or CNN.
You know they always said
CNN.
they said those two
Networks.
no the two news people the two journalists yeah anyways, but the one guy was actually the guy that was a journalist was from the deep state CIA, right? And so what they did was there was only one person in the whole thing that was the whole trying to take what they got busted for was trying to record the Democratic the people in Democratic that were staying at the Watergate Hotel so they could supposedly get inside scoop on shit on what they were planning, right?
So all that about the sneaking in the middle of the night type thing that we've all been led to believe, and we got this thing on our mind that's what happened, that they snuck into some building and got something, but that wasn't quite what it was.
Well, they hid microphones and recorded.
Is that what the sneaky people was doing?
Yeah, they recorded the Democratic National Committee.
So that's true.
Yeah, well, it was done, but it was done by
who?
Deep State. CIA people.
Which is, are they Democratic or Republican?
The CIA. No, it's neither. It's the Una Party.
Who was the sitting president at the time, Democrat or Republican?
It was Republican. It was Nixon, right?
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
And so then when they got, then the reporter, what's his name, that supposedly
the dead one,
right? He
I don't mean to laugh.
when it came out, so then. What it was they went to Nixon and they kind of bamboozled him and told him, "Will, we were doing this stuff for you," and Nixon said, "Well, why nobody told him they were doing it," but then he said, "Okay, well, let's just keep this on the down low, screw that shit. We don't need a big problem going on, right?" So
like Jeffrey Epstein.
So basically, what Nixon got busted for was covering up the Watergate situation.
Not doing it. Repeat that, please.
They conned Nixon into going along with covering it up, right? Like it wasn't really no big deal. So let's just cover it up.
It was always done this way. This is the way the things were done in Washington. You go along. If Nixon hadn't, he would have got his neck chopped off. So I don't blame Nixon at all. Do you, Marshall?
Well, now that I look back on it, I realize that
he wasn't that bad.
He basically was the one that he said, "I know who killed Kennedy, and I'm going to get the rest of the information on it." And the CIA knew that if they did that, then they would be fucked over. Because Kennedy wanted to get rid of the CIA, and then Nixon wanted to get rid of the CIA. So what they did, instead of Nixon get killed, first they got rid of Agnew, put Ford in, and then they made Nixon resign. He says, "I'm not a crook." He was being honest about that. I'm not a crook.
The one that resigns about not being a crook is probably not a crook.
Yeah.
Because they gave up the post where you can make lots of millions of dollars like that Somalian woman and all those Somalian people, which you need to get her the hell out of our country.
Yeah, very far. Well, yeah, she's actually just being in prison, actually.
Oh, God, it makes me sick.
She committed a federal crime.
Why is she still walking around? Why is
isn't
it a crime to marry your brother? Isn't that a crime to have sex with your brother? And it's not just only good to have papers, because the Somalis really practice that icky practice. Yeah, of incest. That's why they are so dumb. That's why they keep getting dumber and dumber and dumber, because of the same gene. That's when we figured it out a long time ago. The Russians figured it out. The Germans figured it out. That you don't marry you don't marry your kinfolk, or you gonna get dumber and dumber and dumber. That's just a fact. But they hadn't figured out the Somalians just get more criminal and criminal and criminal, and I can have sex with my brother while I'm a criminal and criminal. Ugh. It just makes that's dirty money. It's dirty belief. It just makes me want to throw up. Okay, continue.
So, they got Nixon to resign, which made Ford then become the president. So then,
He wasn't a peanut farmer. What did he do?
no. So Ford was actually the only president ever in office that was not elected.
He was appointed because of lack of
Right.
anybody else.
Because before that, it's always been a president, vice president. You elect those two people together, and
Well,
so
who
if
was
something
the
happens
vice
to
president?
something happens to a president, the vice president takes over, but that's an elected person as
Well,
well.
who was the vice president at that time?
Well, so then again, Agnew was. They got him to leave his office because they nailed him for some stupid tax evasion thing.
All at the same time?
Well, that was the first thing they did. Was they got Agnew out, put Ford in, and then when Nixon was out, then Ford became president. The only non-elected
Ford a
president in history of
runner-up?
America.
Was Ford a runner-up in the election at all?
No, Ford was head of the Warren Commission. He was just the guy. He was a puppet for the deep state.
He was just a guy. What happened to the runner-up, the vice president, or whatever the way we do things now? What happened to that?
Ford was kind of like Biden.
Well, apart from Ford, why did not the vice president, or like we do things today, why didn't that come into play?
Oh, Ford was the vice president. I just explained that to you.
I mean,
He became Nixon's vice president after Agnew was forced to resign.
so he's a third cousin of the president going down. That's so weird.
So he was just selected as being taken over the vice president's place when Agnew had to leave. So he wasn't part of the Nixon-Agnew election because Nixon didn't run with Ford, he ran with Agnew. So Ford was inserted into the vice president slot, which then when they got Nixon to resign, so Ford was basically inserted by the deep state to be president. Same thing like Biden. Biden, they put him in his basement until the election was over with because they know if he went out and tried to talk that he was a puppet for the deep state, right?
But Biden got to play